In 3, 2, 1.
And now we're live.
Now we're live.
Now we're live.
Okay.
Just like that. We're live. This is the pilot test episode of Ironcast. It's going to be the new weekly show focusing on more news and current event type stuff, smaller panels, less crazy than Rogues Gallery. Oh, this week we are joined by Camelot because there's a lot going on there involving the Geek and Game Expo. So we're going to get right into it, man. You were posting some pretty interesting stuff last night. I think things kind of took a positive turn.
Yeah, it's been wild. It all ended better than expected. And I'll tell you like actually how it happened. You know, I'm not trying to jump too far ahead, but I had a stream where I was talking about what actually happened because, I hadn't talked about it publicly and I went a different route than I usually do because times are changing. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to post all this on X instead before I start making videos. Because back in the day, I would just make a video and release it to be a big deal. But now I'm like, well, I could actually just immediately post this to X and it could just immediately, explode. And that's what happened. So I went ahead and I was like, well, I'm going to stream about this, obviously, the next day. And I was streaming about it, and there was a lot of people in there. I mean, I'm sure Selena was in there. Iron Ox, he was there. A lot of people were in. And there was actually several like celebrity guests from the convention that I was supposed to be at in the chat that had already announced they were also leaving the convention in solidarity. And one of the people in the chat was actually the owner and operator of this huge, like it's a much larger convention in South Carolina. And they were watching the stream and they gave me an open invite in the chat, which I missed. And then he called me right after the stream was over. He got my number. He hit me up and he's like, I'm going to fly you out and you don't have to pay for nothing. We'll take care of everything for you. And I was like, well, shit. And then we're going to do a racing tournament with sim race stuff. I'm like, this is awesome. So it's a very good ending. Plus I got some NASCAR sponsors out of it that are also really against cancel culture. So a lot of it worked out really well, but it was pretty spooky the first couple of days when it was all going down because I didn't really know how things were going to go once they sent me that email. Because I'm going to post it, right? I mean, that's the first thing I'm going to do is post that emails. Because, a lot of people, well, I shouldn't say a lot, but like 1% of people, maybe less, are like, why did you post that? That's a bad look. Or why did you post the conference call? It's a bad look. Like, and it's a very small portion. It's like 2 or 3 people total are saying this. And I'm like, well, I had over a dozen people I know personally that was going to come to that event and buy tickets. And I'm not going to be able to contact all these people. I don't even remember all the people that are going to this. Obviously, I'm going to have to post this email so people know that I'm not going to be there and why I'm not going to be there. And I warned the promoters and I warned the other people and the staff. I was like, look, because they told me 2 weeks prior. So long story short, just kind of start from the beginning because we kind of circled back around. I was supposed to go to the Gaming Geek Expo, which was next weekend. It's in Raleigh, North Carolina. It's put on by a company called Raleigh Retro Gamers. I was invited by somebody on the staff that's like an event coordinator kind of guy. He works within the team of these people. And he's a big fan of mine, and I've known him for a long time. Still love the guy. He's a good-ass guy. He's pretty much the only guy at the end defending me, still to this day. And he was like, hey, dude, I want you to come. You're NASCAR driver. Like, and I also love your channel, so let's get you over there. So I was like, well, hell yeah, let's do it. I mean, I can't afford to go, to be honest, but, like, that sounds cool. And he's like, well, we'll pay for everything. And I'm like, all right, well, let's do it. So I talked to my NASCAR team, and they agree that they'll bring one of my NASCAR truck from Charlotte that I just raced. They'll bring it to the convention on a hauler, deliver it and everything, which is a lot of damn money, by the way. And they're going to bring that, and they're going to put it right beside my booth. So we're going to have the car there. Everything's going to be right there. And I was like, this is going to be so badass. And then they announced that I was coming on their social media. And that's where everything went haywire. Because allegedly, now, because they have a different side of the story, their side of the story is very basic. It's like, people complained, therefore we listened. Here's what I was told by people that work within the staff of this expo. Allegedly, one person that has a long history past of this kind of behavior that's also extremely far on the left had a problem immediately when I was announced because they went and looked at my channel and they're like, oh, he doesn't hate Trump, therefore he's terrible. Because my intro has a intro where Trump is dancing because it's funny. It's like Trump elected world president. Beep, beep, beep. It's obviously a meme, right? But even memes about Trump's not acceptable, right? You're just evil if you even play one, right? He's like Voldemort. So they, from the very first second, they had an issue. So the day they announced me, the next morning they called me and was like, hey, we got like this complaint. And they were very candid this time. So this is where I got the full story. They're like, hey, this one photographer who works with us, here's their name. They gave me their name. Probably shouldn't have done that. Has an issue because they went and looked at your channel and they said it wasn't family friendly. Keep in mind, they quoted me saying ass to mouth as a joke. Now, also keep in mind, there are several people at this convention that are cosplayers that do porn, but that's fine. Also keep in mind, there's actually guests on the guest list right now that have leftist views that have sexual allegations in their past. Right now.
What?
Yes, currently. They're still going. Now, look, I'm not saying that they should be canceled by any means at all. I am 100% against that. I'm saying they hold the correct political views. That's the difference. Now, he tells me, they tell me, sorry. they tell me, yeah, this photographer has a problem with you. And they talked to this small game store, which is called Magpie and Crow. That's local to that place that was apparently had something to do with the convention. And they apparently were talking to another cosplayer who I have a bunch of content coming out tonight about. And they decided that I was far too problematic. And they waited until right before the event, the convention, to tell me. And they emailed me at like 9 a.m. one day randomly without telling anybody else. They didn't even tell the promoter guy that had got me the gig. And he was caught off guard. We were all caught off guard. And they sent me that email. And for some reason, did not think I was going to post it. So they canceled me, obviously. It looks like it's for political views. I don't know the exact truth. Obviously, there's no paper trail other than what I was texted. And but that's very obvious. I mean, if you're going to say I said ass to mouth and that's the reason, that's insanity. That's insanity. Mm-hmm. So yeah, so I was canceled from that convention. Posted the email. The email immediately goes viral, of course. Then probably 4 hours later, maybe the owner of the convention calls me on the phone, and he is panicking. Because he's like, I'm going to lose everything because of the smear campaign that you're throwing at me. Let me give you some money. He was trying to buy me off. Now that call is 30 minutes long, but that's basically the point of the call. He also agrees with me that, you know, these people that are knee-jerk reacting because they hate me are either suffering from mental illness or just crazy. He actually agrees, but he says he needs the money too bad to be able to let me come. He can't risk it. So he says openly, I need the money. That's why you're not allowed to come. So that was, I don't know why he would say that. That's really dumb. But anyways, and he basically wanted to give me money. And I said, I don't need money. And then the next day I post the call and here we are. So, and then of course, the Southeast Game Exchange, I'll be appearing there July 18th through the 20th. They invited me after the controversy and it's going to be an awesome time. So that's kind of the story so far, but there's so much more to come here in about 2 hours.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I like how they just kind of give you that blanket statement, and he even said it on the phone call. You're super controversial, bro. You're just super controversial. It's like
controversial, but I agree with you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right. And anyone with any internet footprint at all, if you go back far enough, they're also everybody on this panel is controversial. Anybody who's been online for more than a year is going to have said, "Oh, stop it, Dermy." Maybe a little.
I say the N-word more than anyone on this panel.
That's pretty controversial, yes. It's oh, hey, you're just too controversial. And what I told him on the call, I was like, dude, like everyone's controversial. Like depending on what you say, I could say I don't like pineapple on pizza, and somebody suffering from mental illness could get pissed about that and say I'm fucking controversial. Like it doesn't matter. It's literally slippery slope. Like anybody can be offended by anything at any given time. If you start adhering to stuff, especially mild shit, like he said that there was a rise in mental illness amongst young people, which kind of resides in niche groups like furries, bronies, and cosplayers and people on random subreddits. Therefore, they can be led to extremism and radicalization more often than the normal like population base. So 1 or 2 of those people could be dangerous out of the thousands that exist. That's
a based opinion.
Yeah, that by no means, though.
100% true.
That by no means that these groups are bad people, or if suffering from mental illness is something to be, feel shame for. People are going through some shit, and there's nothing wrong with that, and that's all I said. I didn't even say they were bad people. I said the opposite. I know a lot of cosplayers that are kick-ass people. I know a lot of furries that are kick-ass people. They're based as hell. I know a lot of VTubers that are kick-ass people, based as hell. And I gave that context. It did not matter. They did not care about the context. They literally said, well, you said all cosplayers were evil. And I'm like, is this how you think? Is this why I'm getting canceled? Because you can't see nuance and you only think in black and white? Literally every single situation is like, I don't know. There are some cosplayers that are bad. Did you just say all cosplayers are bad? Never said that. It's like that lady that our dude was arguing with years ago. What's the dude that's Canadian? And he tries a lot.
Jordan Peterson.
Jordan Peterson. Yeah, remember when he was talking to that Kathleen or Kathy lady?
Yes.
And he was like, I don't know about the crab. And she's like, are you saying that women are evil? And he's like, what? No, I never said that. That's literally how it is. They're like, are you saying cosplayers? I'm like, I never said those words ever at all, actually. I just said they have a higher percentage of people with mental illness that reside in their communities because they have a need to fit in. There's nothing wrong with that. But people with higher rates of mental illness can be radicalized, and it can sometimes lead to radical, if not violent, acts. Every single person that's arrested has some type of, there's almost always on the spectrum for some reason. So it's just a pattern recognition thing. There's nothing wrong with it. I'm just saying, that's something I've noticed. It's like me saying, damn, like after potatoes sit on the counter for 5 days, they grow little things on them. I've just noticed that it happens. I'm not saying
don't talk shit about potatoes.
But some of them do.
Yeah, some of them do. Not all of them, right? So
right.
That's basically the entire idea around it. Now, and to be fair, it sounds ridiculous, right? That's because it is. Because what actually looks like is going on behind the scenes is this one person with blue hair, that's like one of the event coordinators or event director, went to my channel, saw the Trump dance video, fast forwarded a little bit, saw me like reacting to Trump and laughing and not being hypercritical immediately, and was like, nope, evil Nazi, banned. That's what happened. Just so happens that same person got fired, or I should say laid off to be a little bit more accurate, from Epic Games because they were an executive working in the DEI department. Shocking. How could that have happened? Yeah, so it's very obvious what looks like is happening. So that, it's everybody sees it. Hence why 99.7% of the comments and replies and stories coming out about it are overtly positive. There's like 1 or 2 or 3 comments that are like, Camelot's stupid for recording that call. I'm like, can you explain that a little bit further? And they're like, you're gay. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. They can't give a reason. They just hate me.
I really enjoyed that one response after you'd been asked to go down to the other con. You tweeted out a response to someone else saying there was someone saying, I don't think you're going to be invited to very many conventions after this. And it's just like,
and I just quote tweeted it with the announcement of the con I was invited to as a result of the cancellation. Yeah, they don't get it. Like, they don't understand. They're blinded by their own hatred. Like, they hate me, and that's fine. I'm totally okay with haters, trolls. That's what drives me, and we all need them to become better, to be fair. But because they need to exist. If you don't have people hating on you, you're doing something wrong. So, but there's some situations where something is overtly wrong, and it's not shameful to admit it. Like, there's one channel, it's a clip channel. And you know how clip channels are. It's almost like a meme. Like, they're just 100% negative no matter what's happening, right? You could be literally brutally like beat up in the street by a random person, and they would say you deserve it because they hate you. Well, there's one clip channel that released the whole call. 100%, well, I shouldn't say 100% actually. Like 98% of the comments are like, Camelot released this call and thought it looked good on him. How stupid. And I'm like, you all hold the wrong opinion. Imagine being that wrong about one thing. When there's no nuance here. There's zero nuance in the situation. It is actually black and white. I was canceled for no reason. I wasted money. I'm almost $1,000 in the hole for this convention that I'm never going to get back. I'm selling new merch right now to try to make up for it, which I've made up a little bit, but not a lot. And they canceled me for no reason based on political reasons. It's a morally good to release that call to show that these things are still happening and these people need to be held accountable for being blinded by either hate or money. And there's nothing shameful about admitting that's wrong. You could say, I hate Camelot. Dermy could say this right now because it's probably true. He could say, I hate Camelot with a passion. His giant muscles make me offended because I wish I had them. But
on my body.
But I don't agree with him being canceled. And I would fucking quote tweet that and be like, hell yeah, Dermy.
I don't agree with you being canceled. I'm not the biggest fan of you. I'll be honest. I'm not some of the biggest fan of you.
And that's why
But
it was
that's
so good when he told me that, like, you're definitely coming on the show because we need this because I've liked seeing that you've had support coming out from people that aren't your biggest fans. But go ahead, Dermy.
I'm a Foxu supporter. I'm not your biggest fan.
So
that's kind of where it is. But at the same time, I don't believe anybody should be canceled for whatever fucking reason. Like, if I don't like somebody, I'm just not gonna. I'm gonna ignore them. I'm gonna go off and do my own little thing. They can go live in their happy little bubbles. I'll live in my happy little bubble. It's not that fucking big of a deal. And I bring it up to fucking VTubers. Yeah, Kirsch was getting canceled for having just normal fucking opinions.
Yep.
But over the summer, there was another VTuber who expressed positivity over the assassination attempt of Trump. Affiliated with the exact same shit. Affiliated with the exact same shit as Kirsch. Nobody went after her sponsors, but everybody went after Kirsch. I didn't want to go after any of the sponsors. I don't see what the point there is.
And also, they're living in 2014 still. They're living in the same tactics that were successful 10 years ago that don't exist anymore.
But on top of that, this whole notion of the guy wanting to make money and then canceling you because you're controversial because he wants to make money. Well, now he's losing a buttload of money because he canceled you.
Yeah. 100%. There has been dozens and dozens and dozens of comments on their social media, and their social media, they're, like I said just now to Dermy, they're using tactics from 10 years ago. They're like deleting comments and hiding shit on social media, trying to get out from under it. I'm like, you're not getting out from under it, especially after tonight when my stream happens. Like, it's just you fucked a little, and you're gonna have to lay in the bed. And I told them what they needed to do, and they didn't listen. I'm like, you need to tell this one person or two people, I kind of know who they are allegedly. You should have told them, hey, look, if you cannot exist in a professional environment because someone else may think differently than you, you are not going to be able to work for us at this expo. You're going to have to live with that or find somewhere else to go because everybody is included because we're an inclusive event, like it says on our fucking website. But that being said, you're going to have to do that. You're going to have to make a statement saying this slipped through the cracks. We never meant for this to happen. We side with Camelot and we stand for free speech, and he will be here regardless of what people say. And you need to give me money. That's what needs to happen. And the guy was like, oh, yeah, how about I just pay for your merch? And I'm like, yeah, good luck. Good luck for that. Yeah, you're going to, like, the number is astronomical for me to abandon my principles. Because I will abandon them for a money amount, but it's not going to be $700.
Everybody's got a price.
Yeah, it's going to be about at least $100,000.
Oh, wow, that's pretty low.
Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm cheap. $100,000. Hey, pay off a little bit more.
Listen, I'll do it for 5,000.
I just got to finish doing the calculations how much it's going to cost to get the studio show up. That's my price.
Yeah, exactly.
The thing is, I didn't understand about this is that he's saying about how he's got to cancel you, otherwise he's going to lose money. But he's happy to send you a whole bunch of money to sort of recoup some kind of, to save some kind of face. Like, how many people was it that complained about, like, let's just pretend that it is what he said on the phone. Yeah. And, a whole bunch of people have complained. And it's like X percent of the actual attendees. Right. So how much is it going to cost you, to lose those X percent of attendees, and now how much is it going to cost you to lose X percent of creators and contributors to the actual event? Because that's what's going to happen to you now. And plus you're talking about sending money. Like how much, like the $500 or something, is that how much you thought that you were going to be able to buy?
It's something like that.
For, like,
and you're right. But this is the issue. There was zero business sense here. Because it was the very knee-jerk reaction of like looking at a P&L for 2 seconds based off 2 days. That's what it was based on. And I'm going to give the dude the benefit of the doubt. Let's assume, and this isn't true, but let's assume it was 10 people that were pissed off. Keep in mind, Smash JT is going to Southeast Game Exchange with me. If you go to any Southeast Southeast Game Exchange post about Smash JT, there's 1 or 2 negative comments out of 10 or 20, right? If you go,
and they're all Alyssa McCante.
Yeah, exactly. And if you went to any announcement post of the con I was going to, 0. I did not get a single email. I did not get a single negative comment. I did not get a single comment in my entire stream of thousands of fucking chat. I didn't get anything once. But I'm supposed to assume that it was like hundreds of people. Yeah, you're eat my ass. Let's give them the benefit of the doubt. It was 10 people maximum. That's $360 you may lose. $360 you may lose. Now, to be fair, the people that do these things don't stand on principles. They would have just choked it up, been pissed, and came anyway and gave me dirty looks. That would have been the end of it. They would have still paid and went in because that's what they're going to do. Because they're going to do it because they don't have any principles. They're going to still be there. Now, that being said, let's assume you lose 10 people, $360. There's your big loss there. Maybe a vendor spot of a couple $100. That's $500. Now, after this happened, you have 4 creators, one of which has millions and millions of subs that pulled out, that would have had a 50 to 100 guest fans at minimum show up. There's your $40 times 100 you lost. I would have had easily over 100 people there for NASCAR purposes. When I have a race and I do an autograph session at a race, it'll be an hour long and the line is like 200 to 300 to 400 people every single race. And I'm a nobody in the racing world, just to put that out there. It's just people want to meet the race car driver, right? Mm-hmm. And I have a stack of hero cards and I sign every one of them and I run out of them every single weekend. And we have to get new ones printed off. So they're going to come, especially in North Carolina, bro. It's where it is. So you lost all that from me. Retro Wolf left. Retro Wolf's he's growing fast. His tweet, my tweet about him leaving got over 1,000 likes. He's
in the chat, by the way.
Yeah, he's my boy. Saturn Stevio left. He announced he was leaving. Pac-Man Ace left. And I'm sure there's more people I haven't even heard about that are leaving, or people that were planning on going that are not going now. He effectively lost 10 to 15 to 20 grand in 2 seconds when he did this. But he thought that saving the $360 and maybe one vendor slot was going to be the issue. He was thinking in knee jerk, I may lose like this angry customer that says the coupon's expired by 2 months and they're screaming at the local associate and you come and you honor it anyway because I just don't want to lose a sale. Yeah, but the 10 people in the store that just watched that happen are never coming back. That's your issue. You have to look at the broader issue, which is what he said on the call, but he had no idea how that worked when it came to a broader issue. I have 13 years of multi-level management experience in retail. I know how these things work. And I told this guy, I'm like, look, dude, creating a shitstorm on social media is not beneficial in any way, shape, or form because there's not going to be any positivity around this. Everyone's going to be pissed. Don't do this. I'm just warning you. I told this dude on the phone, I'm warning you, if you do this, I won't be able to stop what happens. And he was like, yeah, well, and I'm like, you have no idea. And then of course I posted it and dude calls me, oh my God, I'm going to lose my house. I'm like, yeah, I told you. And you didn't listen, dude. And now
apparently, I was going to say, apparently he's refusing to refund people's.
That's what I saw. I don't know the truth behind that. I probably should text my boy about it that works there, but I don't know the truth behind that, but that's kind of what it looks like. And that's happening. I can't even imagine what the fuck. Like, it's just you're making it if that is true, that's making every mistake you can possibly make. It's like he's trying to go for the damn hat trick. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I listened to the phone call. I looked at this. Tell me where I'm wrong. This is my read on the situation. I think you're right. I don't think this was ever a math question for him. I think this is a fully cucked, low testosterone beta man who does not have the ability to say no to emotionally unstable women. Sure. And then emotionally unstable women made a demand of him, and they whined, and he couldn't tolerate it, right? So he had to do, and he's sexually jealous of you anyway because of your masculinity and you drive fast cars, right? And the muscles, right? All the same reasons Dermy envies you, right? And me, if I'm being honest, right?
Damn.
Right? So this is what I'm saying. And so he doesn't have the ability to be like, no, sweetheart, sit down. We're not doing that. Go color. We're not doing that today. Okay. Yeah. Have some water. Go home. He doesn't have the ability to do that. Right. So now he has to pass. And here's how I know that. Cause he clearly is the person who has to agree with every person he's talking to. Cause what was the phrase he kept repeating on the phone call? I totally agree with you, bro. Totally see where you're coming from, but my hands are tied. And somehow he wants agreeing with you to be, you do everything that's best for him and you don't make a fuss and you just go away quietly. And that was never going to happen. right?
Yeah, you should have heard it. And I kind of regret it because when I hit record, it was 7 minutes into the call. And I remember telling my buddy, he was like, "Hey man, if the owner calls you, will you talk to him? Because he wants to fix this."
No.
And I was like,
he wants to fix it for himself.
Yeah. And I told him, I was like, if he calls me and he defends his actions and there is nothing on the plan to completely reverse this. And I mean, Mayday level, fucking DEFCON 5, reverse it in 1 second. If he calls me, I'm going to lose my shit because I'm not this guy. I'm not the guy, bro. I'm not that corporate level dude. I've been in the corporate world for a long time, and I know how to say no and fuck yourself in 1 second when I feel wrong. It's not a big deal for me. I do it all the time. And he was like, "Yeah, he just wants to talk to you." I'm like, "All right, cool." And we started talking, and he was like, "Bro, like we gotta." And he was way more confident in the first part of the call, which is no one heard it because I hadn't started recording yet. He was like, "Bro, like we need to fix this. Like the smear campaign is like really hurting me. Like what can I do? Like you really didn't have to release that email." And I didn't raise my voice. I just what one of my friends in my mods, Selena, says you had the dad talk. I had a very, very stern dad talk with the guy. I was like, "Look, dude," I was like, "Why in the absolute fuck would I protect your brand? I do not know you. You fucked me, so therefore I will bury you. There is no coming back, and I can't stop the storm." Okay, so I was like, "I want you to tell me why you think I'm not going to fuck you over in this situation. I don't owe anything to you. My only friend is the guy that I've been texting. That's the only guy I care about in this whole situation." And I was like, "Other than that, I don't know who you are, and you just fucked up. So I'm going to bury you, and I want you to give me a reason why I shouldn't." And his confident tone immediately shifted to like stuttering and like, I don't know. And I was like, you don't understand how social media works. I can tweet randomly at 3 a.m. It's going to get 10 likes, maybe 100 views. I get it. But everyone hates cancel culture. So when I tweet this shit out, it's gonna go viral. And every single tweet has went viral so far. Because everybody's tired of this shit. They're tired of getting persecuted for something they may or may not believe or perceived to believe. Because I play a Trump meme at the beginning of my show. So they just assume like I'm an evil Nazi. Bro, I'm loose as hell. I'm pro-choice. I have different nuanced ideas about all kinds of different things. And I love talking about them. And some of my best friends in the world are hyper left or hyper right. And we talk all the time about our issues. And then we freaking have a beer afterwards. It's not a big deal. Right? But they don't see that. They just see the Trump meme and they're immediately like, "Oh, he's one of those. So we got to do something about this shit." So yeah, he goofed hard, and the goofing is going to pay dividends because I have a show tonight. I'm going to probably put it at 9:15. I probably should make a thumbnail, but I'm lazy. And people are passionate, more passionate than me about this. And I have DMs from all kinds of people that know people that work within this community from way back. They all have all kinds of crazy receipts and texts and evidences and emails from different people that work within this place. And the stuff that has happened with the people that are coming to this convention, that are working for the con, that had a hand in me getting removed from it, have the most insane past that I've not been this nervous to stream about a subject matter since 2020 when I streamed the call of GameStop saying we're not going to close because we sell batteries for COVID. Like, that's how nervous I am, because I was nervous when I released that fucking conference call. I'm like, I may be killed in the street for this. And that's how I feel tonight, because the stuff that people are going to hear on my show tonight, I can't believe it. There's death involved.
I saw that. I saw your post. I'm nervous for you, to be honest, but I'm intrigued.
And these people are still going. They're still going to this convention as guests, or they work there. And I'm controversial because I said ask the mouth and have a Trump meme. That's what you got. And that just goes to show that it's words in favor of actions. It's like, oh, well, if I say peace, love, and everybody deserves rights, and I love everybody, I can do whatever I want, and it doesn't matter. Because as long as I say those things to preface all my terrible actions, therefore I'm morally good. So I can kill you. That's how these people think. It's all about words, not actions, which is the opposite of what the 90s was growing up, right? Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's ogre. It's ogre. And I'm sure the convention is still gonna happen, but I don't even know. Dude, there's one guy that I know, and he's like, I'm flying down there and I'm fucking going to it, and I'm protesting. I'm like, oh, well, I ain't gonna be there. So I won't be there. You do it. I ain't gonna tell you what to do, but I ain't gonna be involved with that shit. And I've told people to don't go after individuals who are guests.
Mhm.
Don't do all that. But if you wanna go get your refunds from their Instagram, yeah, have at it. But I don't condone harassing anybody. But the shit that's gonna come out tonight is pretty devastating. So I'm very excited, very nervous about it, and I don't know how it's gonna go, but it's definitely gonna go.
Yeah.
I'm inclined to agree with Theo about what he was saying, about him just being fucking spineless and cucked and etc. Because, quite frankly, as I was listening to the call, he kept mentioning like, oh yeah, well, some of the locals. It's like, how many? So a few fucking locals. What are you talking about? Do you understand how many people are going to be coming in internationally for this? It's not just local people. I don't know what the fuck you're saying there. What else was it? He kept saying because he kept saying, "Oh, I'm going to lose my house over this." That's not just over X% of people. That's over creators pulling out. That is right.
Yep.
I would. This guy has absolutely no business acumen at all. I wouldn't trust this guy to make a fucking sandwich, let alone run a business, right? Because you've got to think about all the money that you're going to lose from the creators versus those few hundred. That's a very generous estimate. Few hundred people. How many people are actually going to go to this show? And I am assuming that it's at $36 a ticket, from your.
Yeah, it's like 36 or 40 or it's something like that. Yeah.
So $36 a ticket, and is it going to be thousands of people that are going to this?
Yeah, it should be about 10,000 people.
Would have been.
So would he? Can I ask you the question? Would he have been paying you any money to visit it, or was it just like you can come to this convention and any money that you make at the convention is yours? What's the deal with that? Is he paying the guests?
Yeah, basically, it's my rooms are paid for, my flights are paid for. I show up, and I have a bunch of merch to sell, and I was going to give away free stuff. It was basically, I mean, dude, I've been to a bunch of conventions as a guest, and it's a good time. Like you go there, you get to drink with your buddies, you get to meet people you haven't seen in a while, like Retro Wolf or Jake Randall, my buddies, and you just get to relax. I mean, I've seen Dermy Wermy from across the way waving at me one time. So like you get to see people. Yeah, and you can sell your merch. You can make $1,000. Everything's paid for. You make $1,000 on a weekend. You go home. It's a solid deal, and it's also really cool to meet your fans I don't like to call people fans because I'm just a random dude from the trailer park, but you get to meet viewers, and it's really awesome to get to talk to people and like-minded people. And there's people that I've had come up to me that are like hyper leftist dudes, and they'll say it to my face, and they're like, "But I love you, and I think you're awesome," and they want to hug me, right? So people from different walks of life, people will show up, and it's really, really cool to see. And that's what conventions are all about. Inclusivity should mean Dermy Wermy can show up, I can show up, Selena can show up, we can all show up, and let's assume we all completely think different things, and we're from different backgrounds, and we can all show up and have a beer and have a good ass time regardless of what's going down. That's what inclusivity means. Inclusivity does not mean I overtly believe everything that everybody on the left, for some weird reason in the today, believes. Therefore,
everyone's included, but not you.
But yeah, right. So that's the weird. It's like somebody hijacked the word inclusive and like reversed it, which is what they do with a lot of words nowadays. It's like, we're inclusive, therefore you can't come. I'm like, that's not what inclusive means. That means exclusive. You spelled it wrong. So that's kind of what's going on. But cons are such a great thing, and I would never ask to be paid for a con. Some of them will offer to pay for you to come out. But as long as you cover my plane ticket, my room, dude, I'll show up, sell some merch, have a good time, drink a little bit, and meet some people. That's what I love, So that's what I'm aiming to do, and that's what we're doing at Southeast Game Exchange with Austin and Retro Wolf and a lot of awesome people. So it's going to be a good time regardless. I'm very, very excited for that. But yeah, I have no idea what the future holds for this other convention. All I know is they will always, the Game and Geeks convention by Raleigh Retro Gamers of North Carolina will always be labeled as the convention that's exclusive, and will always be known as the convention that cancels people over political views, or maybe they just don't like the guy. They'll always be known as that. They still call PAX the convention that cancels people. They still call conventions from 15 years ago the convention that cancels people. They still do to this day.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll always be known as that, and there's nothing they can ever do about it unless they release that statement. But now if they did it now, it's going to look like they just did it because they were getting wrecked, So
yeah, their reputation's not going to recover.
Yeah.
I think that the things that he was saying on the phone, as Theo was saying, had absolutely zero to do with money. And I don't even think it was to do with a whole bunch of people. He was so adamant that he was literally saying, I agree with you. Okay, so reverse the decision then. I can't. He was so adamant that he's not going to reverse the decision, but he was still happy to buy off your silence, or that he was still happy to. This is someone else. This is like one or two people saying, if maybe they've got something over him or something like that, and they've says, if you don't uninvite this guy, we're gonna out you. So because that's what it was like in my head, listening to this going on. It was like they've got something. Someone has got something over him, and that's why he's so adamant. Because he's saying, "I agree with you. I believe in free speech. I'm not either side of the political spectrum." Okay, so fucking reverse the decision then. Nah, I'm afraid I can't do that. No. But here's a couple of pennies for your troubles. That was someone else.
Yeah, what I heard was pathological conflict avoidance. It's a guy who just is not comfortable with masculine confrontation in any meaningful sense, who has no spine, no ability to stand up for himself. And the other thing I noticed, he's constantly trying to position himself as the victim. Even subtly, like when he was like, well, when you were like, no, I don't care about money. He was like, well, I guess money's not a big deal for you, but
it is for us
lowly peasants. We need money. I mean, I don't. I mean, like he's passive aggressively trying to position you as this big wealthy celebrity who's picking on him, the poor humble male feminist. And by the way, it's obvious he's not on either side of the political spectrum. He's on the side of the political spectrum with the psychotic harpies who are demanding that everybody be canceled. That's not an either side thing. He's picked a side. He just doesn't want to say that to you because that would result in a masculine conflict, and he's woefully unprepared to do that.
Yep. And I actually, to be fair, I didn't even think about the possibility that you said that they have something over him. That's actually a very great point that I have not even thought about. And it could very, very well be true. Do I know if that's true? No, but it could very well be true. Like, hey, if you invite this guy, I'm telling him about the time he slapped my ass. I don't know.
But it could be anything as innocent and that. And because they live in that cancel culture mindset, he is going, oh no, I couldn't possibly. So I've slapped loads of women's asses before. If one of them turned around and says, I'm going to tell someone that you slapped my ass, it's like, fucking go ahead, bro. You know what I mean? I don't give a fuck. Yeah, I'll slap your fucking face, stupid cunt.
Well, that's why Jack Nicholson had the best response for that when he was confronted on the street by a reporter, journalist. And they asked, "What about these allegations?" He's like, "I don't remember any of it, but if I did that, they all loved it."
Yeah.
I really do think this is all internalized, this because here's one of the biggest tells, and you were talking about a little bit earlier, Cody, was nobody came to collect their scalps. Normally, when there's a cancel culture mob coming after somebody, the first thing they want to do is celebrate a victory, and there was none of it. Yeah. In fact, the exact opposite. People that aren't your biggest fans were like, hey, no, don't really care about Camelot, but what the fuck? Like, you know, I don't follow VTubers at all because I'm not a weirdo. I'm married. Sorry, Dermy. So I had no idea about the whole situation, but I was still jumped on it because nobody likes this shit anymore, regardless of who the victim is. If there's no reason for it and everybody's tired of it. And I think we're seeing a lot more unity that way. And
that was so cool to see. Like, I know I've had issues in the past with, you know, the more so the VTuber fan base than I would actually say the VTubers themselves. But yeah, we've had our beefs in the past, and they were very accidental beefs, to be fair. But you know, I put that behind me after like the day of, and that was years. It feels like years, but it was probably just a year now. But to see Kirsha talk about it and overtly defend me. I went into her chat and I thanked her for it. And she was like, you're based, awesome. And I was like, well, that's kick ass. She may not like me, but that was really, really cool to stand on her principles and defend me in this way. And Rev did as well. So that was really cool to see, people that may not like you, but they still, that shows the content of their character to stand on principles for someone they may not like. And, I'm not going to toot a horn, but I would do the same shit. If I saw somebody getting canceled, I even said that. I was like, I don't think this person should be deplatformed. I had somebody ask me about somebody I was complaining about on Twitter, and they're like, oh, so you think they should be deplatformed? I'm like, absolutely not. No, of course not. I just
let them keep talking. Sunlight is the best disinfectant.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool to see the support, and the only people that don't support me are like 1 or 2 or 3 sock puppet accounts that are probably people that work at the expo already anyway. Right. So that's what I think.
Because if you really wanted to be a dick, you could name the people who are coming after you, and you could be going after them day and night. You could be tweeting round the clock trying to get people to go after them. You haven't done that.
Nope.
You could have done that.
No, so I could have. I still to this point, I have not released any names of the people that are alleged that are directly behind my cancellation, other than the president, which I don't think he was directly behind it. I think he just adhered to it. I know the individuals that allegedly had an issue, and I have not said their names once. And that's just I haven't laid it in on anybody. Now, it is coming to a point where something pretty crazy stuff's coming out, and I'm going to have to talk about it, and it's going to involve some of these people because it's one of those things where they have unbelievable past with insane allegations, and they're the ones that are getting me canceled because I'm bad. And I don't have any allegations even remotely like this. So there comes a time where you have to talk about stuff, and I don't really want to out anybody. But there's a reason why I have not, because I'm like, look, I don't want anybody going after these people at all. And I'm still going to say, I don't want you going after anybody ever. I would never want that unless it's a company. That's way different. Okay, if it's a company, good on. Like if you're commenting on like a organization's page, I don't give 2 shits. Like, don't threaten anybody, don't hurt anybody. But if you want to voice your displeasure, I don't give a shit. I don't control what you say. I'm just not saying don't harass individuals, obviously. But yeah, it's coming to a head, and I don't really know how to stop it, because as soon as I started talking about it, people way more passionate than I am started looking into it. And you know how people are on the internet. I have people sending me DMs every hour about an individual that's working at this expo, and they send me their entire like they send court documents and all kinds of crazy shit that's happened in the past. I'm just like, this is getting crazy. People pulling up archives from years ago of like the craziest allegations you've ever heard, obituaries. I don't want to say too much.
You don't know anyone like that, do you, Iron?
No, not at all.
So it's gonna be crazy, but it's pretty wild. Like I said, I'm nervous, excited, but it is really cool to see all the support from everybody, including, even companies. A PC company emailed me in support. I think it's Alexander PC. Let me make sure before I say something completely wrong.
I saw them in the chat actually.
Alexander PCs, they emailed me and was like, hell yeah, dude, we support you, like full stop. I had another company email me the same thing. I've had individuals email me or DM me saying we completely support you. I had Donut Operator email, or he messaged me 2 days ago, and he said, how you doing, you Nazi? It's like, and I was like, I'm doing good, man. And we're trying to set up time for him to come to one of my races. But yeah, it's just, it's been pretty wild to see how awesome the support is. And,
it's because people are just fed up with cancel culture.
Yeah.
People want to go back to just having normal fucking lives where we're not bitching and crying about, oh my God, somebody said the N-word back when they were 4 fucking years old. Nobody gives a shit anymore. We want to move on. We're sick of this shit. That's why people are supporting you. Because it's pathetic. It doesn't help with business. And then you get that. I've been sitting on this one, but that fucking dude, the president or whatever it is, the guy that called you, he's over there crying that you put his name out there, but you canceled him. What the fuck? Yeah. You canceled him, and you expect any sort of kindness out of this. They want you to sit down and take it, and everybody's had it. It's time to fight
And-
back and tell them to
Yep.
piss off and kiss my ass.
Nobody wants to see, a con get ruined or somebody, get wrecked financially. But unfortunately, sometimes you have to set examples need to be made that this is not tolerated anymore. It's just, this can't happen. So,
Well, my response to your initial tweet was that this president is bitch made, weak ass, he's a pussy, he's got no fucking integrity whatsoever, and that he completely agrees with you, and yet he refuses to stand by you. And I mean, like, it's bigger in the United States because your entire nation was founded on the Constitution, and like it encompasses the absolute right to free speech. It's like that whole fucking McCante shit that's going on at the moment. I don't like her, at all, but I don't think that she should be cancelled because of the dumb shit she says. I'm happy for her to keep saying dumb shit so that people can see that she says dumb shit. And it's the same as, like, even if people think that Camelot says dumb shit, ass to mouth, so fucking what? Yep. It doesn't matter. He should be allowed to say those things. That's why people hate cancel culture so much. Is because it goes against everything that your country, especially, was built upon. Free speech laws are there to protect speech that you don't want to hear, not to protect speech that you want to hear.
Yeah, plus not for nothing, ass to mouth is a proud American tradition. I mean, you don't think George Washington went ass to mouth? You don't think Thomas Jefferson? We know John F. Kennedy went ass to mouth. I mean, it's a part of
Benjamin
our country's
Franklin
history.
invented it.
Absolutely. This is crazy. What are we doing here?
Yeah, dude.
And it's fake pearl clutching too, because the people that they pick a single statement that, oh, look at that, and they say the same. They're guilty of saying the same types of things. Of course they are.
Sure.
It's just
I
a way
could find
to
a problem with anything that anyone said.
Yeah.
If I wanted to, I can clutch my pearls too.
I said that on the phone with him. I was like, dude, and like, I'm not going to put names out there, but there's a guest right now going. And look, again, I don't want them removed or deplatformed at all. I'm just speaking from what I've, read. There's a guest going right now on the guest list that has sexual allegations from the past and tons of stuff still active. People still talking about it to this day. And I said ass to mouth, or I said there's a rise of mental illness amongst young people that resides in certain niches. And that I'm not allowed. I'm saying literal facts. Ass to mouth is a fact, bro. I'm saying facts, and like I'm getting
especially
removed.
when Cecil's involved.
Yeah. If I just went over here and I quote and I tweeted out Kamala Harris is based and like trans rights or human rights, suddenly it doesn't matter what I say or do. That's insane, right?
If you advocate for the age of consent and shit like that, that's okay. But saying ass to mouth, oh my God, you're a Nazi.
Yep. It's pretty insane shit, and I feel for him. I don't. People, I know you don't. But let me explain. Really, I feel like this dude that this all is happening. The guy, the president. I just feel like he's very inexperienced in social media. If you look at his social media, he doesn't really have much social media present. He's not really on it, and he's using old tactics from back in the day. Like the only reason this kind of thing existed or happened is because 10 years, 15 years ago, people that worked for any kind of organizations found out that if they just said that somebody was conservative. Ooh, it started in Hollywood, by the way. This all originated in Hollywood. If you started, say somebody's a conservative, even if the leadership agrees with you, which a lot of them are conservative, they'll be like, oh, fuck, well, we got to get rid of this person because we don't want everyone to get pissed off. We don't want negative press. But what they don't realize is the negative press has flopped and the culture has changed. The only negative press you get now are from your actions of still doing stuff like this to this day. It's fatigue. We all have fatigue. We're over it. And this has been this way for 5 years. When Vic Mignogna got canceled, everybody's like, this is bullshit. And his allegations were way worse than ass to mouth, right? They were false ass allegations and way worse than ass to mouth. and they were canceled, and people were still like, "This is some bullshit." So yeah, when you cancel me for literally no reason, yeah, you're fucked. The perception's fucked, right? So
Silence.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Well, I was taking a
dead
deep
air.
breath to start talking, but if you've got something, go ahead.
No, I have
Dermy.
nothing right now. I'm
Okay.
just functioning, barely functioning.
sorry, I'm talking whilst making thumbnails and scheduling stuff, and I'm pretty good at it, but also I'm not very good at it. So I have to. I'll find myself like not talking for a second. I'm like, oh fuck, dead air, help, Jesus.
No.
But yeah, it's been pretty wild, and I'm excited for the future, excited and nervous, and I just don't know what's going to happen after tonight. And every time I go into my mod chat, because obviously I have a closed chat with my mods on X, not on Discord. Fuck that app. But I'll go. I have 20 mods in a chat together, and they'll send me a link. Oh, guess who just covered your story? And I'm like, fuck, it's getting even bigger now. And every time I see it, it's like 100,000 subs, 400,000 subs, 800,000 subs. There's a new channel covering it, and it's only going to snowball from here until Asmongold is fucking talking about it. And I mean, there's no telling what's going to happen, right? So we'll see. But it's only going to get worse from here because I have so much to say tonight. And, I just hope it doesn't negatively, and it probably might, but I hope it doesn't negatively affect anybody that doesn't need to be affected. But it might, which is kind of the sucky part about this whole situation, because there's people that just want to have fun at a convention or are going to a convention, or maybe this is their first convention and they're really excited, and they're getting basically heat because the people running their convention are dumbasses. And now they're catching heat. There's a guy named RNG who's a kick-ass dude, normal-ass dude. He's going to the convention. He's really pumped, and people were attacking him. And I had to tweet out, like, stop attacking this dude. He didn't do anything. Like, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's just, and this is something that's unavoidable. The storm is unavoidable. And that's the only negative part about this is there's going to be innocent bystanders because of the actions from the leadership of this expo.
And I think they didn't realize when this was just starting to take off, the whole cancel culture and everything else, how much negative, like that pendulum always is going to swing back. They didn't think that shit would go crazy when they forced James Woods into early retirement, one of the fucking best actors ever, because he, had some opinions. Yes.
God, he's so good. I watched that shit the other night while drinking, and he was like doing fucking Hades. He was just Hades. Fuck, dude. I'm like, this is the greatest shit I've ever seen. I was eating Taco Bell, watching I was sitting beside the fire. God, it was awesome.
I love him as Hades.
God, he's so good. He's so good. He's good and everything. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Oxa.
Oh, no problem. I mean, we saw there's the Gina Carano thing, and those are the big names. But then a lot of people, like smaller people, had the same thing happen. And it's just gotten worse and worse. And that bubble just has gotten tighter and tighter, and it's fucking exploded now. So people taking part in this, yeah, I kind of feel bad for him, but casualties happen.
It's not just that though. It's like people
stepped on a landmine on purpose.
People don't seem to learn from history either. Like this goes a long way back into the past. The people who were on the side of the Soviets, the people who was on the side of the communists, saying, yeah, we need all these communist laws and this and that, and they ended up in the same fucking gulags as everybody else. It's like, yep. I'll see you in the gulag, comrade. You want to fucking cancel me, they're going to come for you too.
Yep. And we see that all the time, because when they run out of people on the right to fuck with, they start eating each other. We've seen plenty of examples of that, because that's what they live for, is that conflict. And when they don't have it with their intended targets, they start targeting each other. It's just the nature of the beast.
They will come after him next. And the first time he says no now. So here's what happens. Now that you said yes, and I told him on the phone, I think before I started recording, I was like, now since you said yes to this, at any point, one of these people that started this can come to you and be like, I don't like the way you hugged me last night. Here's what I want. And he's going to have to fucking do it. Because you done set the precedent, bro. You're now in charge, bro. You got to get out in front of it. The only way you can ever save yourself from stuff like that, because those people are known for that. Trust me, you're going to hear about it tonight. That's what they do. You hug them wrong. Your palm touched their waist in a picture on a hug. Suddenly, you're in a courtroom about it, and that's what's going on. And he already set the precedent now. You will never be able to come out. And when somebody could say that about me right now. Selena could tweet out, I was at a con and Cody was there and I went and took a picture of him and he squeezed my waist really hard and it just made me uncomfortable. And I would quote tweet it and be like, and I'm gonna do it again, bitch. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Everyone would laugh.
I didn't squeeze your tits.
Yeah,
Camelot grabbed my ass once. Okay.
Yeah.
And I liked it.
And they would all laugh because it's bullshit. But if that happens to him, he can't be like, I didn't do it. And they're like, but didn't you cancel Camelot because you said, and it's you're the hypocrite. So now they can levy any action on you and you better adhere to it, bro. And you're going to be doing it for the rest of your life. You're going to be adhering to all this for the rest of your life. And you'll never be able to get out from under it. So the first thing you should always do when you're in situations like this, if you're not doing anything wrong, I got to put that. I don't go around slapping asses, Mr. JackTarLad. But I'm just saying, if you're going around, if you're not, you're not slapping the asses, you should always stand on principle immediately. I've had people people try that shit all the time. Back when I was really growing on YouTube, I had people trying to put allegations out there, random shit. Like I assaulted a girl that worked for me at GameStop. And I literally responded and I was like, you dumb bastard. I didn't even have any women working for me that year. I only had males on the client list. You were such
they might be women now.
Yeah, that's true.
It's very valid.
But yeah, I just laugh at it because I'm like, you have no power here. I've done nothing wrong. I continue to do nothing wrong. I am way too lazy and I do not care about women enough to go around touching on them. I could give two fucks about that. All right. I got women in my life that are hotter than shit and they hang out with me all day and they're based and cool as fuck. And I don't have to worry about touching a random girl at a convention. Okay. It's all attitude. That's what it's all about. And if you cave to pressure ever once, you lose for the rest of your life. And the dude caved the first time. You fucked.
Well,
right.
He lost all power he had in his company when he hired somebody with the resume that you described. Once you let those people in, you might as well just give them the deed to the property and the keys because you have no more authority. You're writing their paychecks and they're telling you what to do from here on out.
So
biggest mistake.
Basically, and it's funny because if you actually go and read about these people, they'll jump from company to company, destroying it. And then they'll just get hired in as another like one of those positions where you eat lunch at 12 and then you take 18 breaks and you just sit in the lounge and drink specialty drinks and then you go home and you don't really have a job. It's like a fake job. Yeah, they'll keep hiring those people and those people will keep ruining companies and then going and just jumping to another company with their resume that they were a DEI person and then they ruin that company and they get laid off.
Are we talking about Alyssa McCanty again?
No,
at least there is funny. This is just sad.
And I'm sorry, the common denominator, they're usually white women with that hive mind mentality. They're all trained to do they're doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing in their minds, going company to company, improving it, destroying it, and moving on to the next one. Kind of like cancer.
Yeah.
Yep. It is cancer. It's when they say the word something is toxic, that is what it is. They are toxic. They're the people that will go after everybody. And what they used to do before social media, because this has always existed. Let's not try to trick people into thinking that this is a new thing. These people traditionally, and I'm not saying anything crazy, but traditionally it's like women that are 25 to 35, 38 that are white for some weird reason. I don't know why. I don't get it. But back in the 70s, 60s, 50s, 40s, 80s, doesn't really matter what decade or century you bring up, they would develop social circles. And there was one or two of these women that would destroy the social circle with gossip. And that's what they liked. They enjoyed it. It's not like they just fucking got a rise out of it and they would destroy shit that way. And now with the rise of social media, they have so much more power, or they did have a lot of power when social media first came around. And we had to weather that. We had to get used to it. So it took several years to be like, oh, so this random white girl is saying that some crazy cancel shit. Let's ignore her because who gives a fuck, right? So, and that's kind of where we are now. But some people are still falling for it.
But what you're talking
in
about
the,
there with women sort of destroying their social circles, it's the whole crabs in a bucket theory. You know, one like you got a social circle, and usually it it usually works in the way of like, I don't know whether anyone here has ever raised hens before, but in a group of hens, you've got like the top hen. And then you've got one that's always at the bottom, one that's always henpecked. Yeah, you got one that's always picked on, and they're last to feed. You know, they're not near the warmest part of the chicken coop or whatever, right? And then you got the one at the top. And any like with these female social groups, anytime any one of the women are doing any better than the others, like they get a boyfriend and they start to become happy and they start to, you know, or they get a better job and they start to make money or whatever, there'll be one or two in the group that fucking start spreading gossip and that kind of stuff. Like start spreading rumors between the boyfriend and the girlfriend, and like they just drag them back into the fucking bucket. It's like, no, you're not getting out of this bucket. You're not gonna do better than me. You're gonna stay in this social group where I'm the top hen.
Yep. It's
you know, in the 1700s, they used to put gossiping women in the stocks for a couple hours. It starts to make sense now.
It all makes
Starting to make sense now.
It's yeah, dude. If you ask a lot of women like a year or two after their divorce, and you know, I don't have stats to back this up. I'm just going off of like anecdotal and like friend groups and stuff. So you know, don't take too much stock in this, but. If you know, asking a lot of women in my life and my friends and mutual friends of women, like what happened, you know, what happened with this divorce, like what happened, and it's almost always, oh well, I made a mistake. My single friend claimed that it was amazing being single, and she kept pressuring me to divorce my husband, and then I did, and then she stopped being my fucking friend. So many cases of that because they're like, oh, you're happy, you're having a good time. You should leave him because being single.
She got what she wanted.
Yes. And how many times does that same homegirl slide into the ex-husband's DMs? Like, hey, buddy. Hey, big boy, you feeling okay?
This hits really close to home. But yes, we've all been through this. So especially fucking Theo. I know he's been through this shit before.
Yeah.
Look at his damn face. You know he's been through it. I can see.
I've been trying to get it. I've been trying to do that, but mainly with Iron, you know. I'm trying to get him to divorce Selena.
Yeah, good luck. I know what I'm capable of. I know I shopped outside of my price range. You think I'm going to go back for a refund? Fuck off.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. So, like, yeah, we're just shooting the shit and having a good time. But I mean, there's some legitimacy to a lot of this stuff. So, it is crabs in a bucket, and it's generally miserable people that want to destroy everything else. I mean, there's people right now every single day, especially Reddit. It's mainly Reddit, but people every day that every time I have a good finish in NASCAR, there's not a single comment about it. There will be one that gets downvoted into oblivion. They're like, wow, that was really impressive from Dennison. I've seen those comments and they get downvoted so hard they're hidden. But then you'll see if I ever have an issue like last race where we had the car basically broke 50 laps in. We were running really good. Car broke, truck broke rather. And we were like 30 mile an hour off pace. We were fucked. And there's thousands of comments on Reddit. They're like, this dude's a dumbass. He needs to get his license dropped. He's a piece of shit. I hate him. I hope he dies. Like, it's the crabs in the bucket. Yeah, Reddit's fucking crazy, man. Reddit is insane.
Reddit is only good for porn.
That is so true.
Disturbing.
That is Dermy. We on the same page, bro. I know what you're talking about.
Because you're the man in the arena in that case. You're the one who's actually doing something with your life. Then there's a bunch of like obese, unhappy social rejects who are trying to criticize you, and they couldn't do a fraction of what you do on a daily basis. Yep. They couldn't. They have no capability. They can't even go outside without having an anxiety attack. You know, they need all kinds of special accommodations everywhere they go because they're retarded. That's what bothered me so much about your comment about like mentally ill people congregating in some of these communities. They didn't say you were wrong. They said you were mean. They know it's true. They couldn't pretend like it because every fucking word out of their mouth is my anxiety. Like, so they couldn't say you were wrong, right? Well, it was just not nice to point it out.
I have such a good example of this too, because years ago, I was dating this girl a little bit, and she had a roommate, and I got to put this out there: the girl I was dating was like 10 out of 10, like over the top, super attractive, and also super smart and really cool and laid back and just a joy to be around. And she had a roommate who was the polar opposite. Her roommate was like short, annoying, pudgy, and hyper leftist, and for some reason obsessed with boy bands. But she was like 31. But at any rate, she did not like to leave the house, and she did not like to do anything. And I would always hear, like, I'd go over to the house, hang out, and I'd always hear about how she had so many opportunities. Like, she had a possible interview for this huge position, and she would just not go to the interview because she has too much anxiety. And she was comfortable being like a part-time 2 days a week like employee and basically barely surviving. And she would take a mental health day like twice to three times a week, not bathe, not work out. Because, if I have to work out for people to like me, then like they're bad people. Like, this to say, and this person to this day, from what I understand, is literally in that exact same position, doing absolutely nothing, but hypercritical about everybody else around her.
Is she on Instagram? What's her deal?
Oh shit!
Theo, no, bad.
No,
you can't change that one.
You would not be interested. No, but she like it. The issue for these people, the reason they're mad, is because they look at you, they look at Theo, and they're like, this dude's fucking traveling. He's doing shows. He's fucking gorgeous. He's gorgeous, goddammit. Like, they see this dude, and they're like, it holds a mirror up to themselves and their failures. Mm-hmm. Theo reminds people of their own failure, and it pisses them off. It pisses them off to no end. So they're like, should I improve myself, or should I attack Theo? I'm going to attack Theo because that's easier than going to the gym, right? That's why it happens. It makes them it forces them. Seeing successful people it forces you to look inside yourself and be like, why am I not that person? And then the most people will just get pissed and say, I don't like that person, instead of being inspired and being like, I'm going to go for that. Right?
And that's what they're doing to you.
Right. That's my point. There's people out there. It's like, I'm an aspiring young race car driver. And I'm like, hell yeah, get on it, dog on it. They're like, I hate you. You don't deserve to be here. And I'm like, what? They're like,
the response I was looking for.
I should be in that race car right now, not you. And I'm like, well, why don't you come do it? And they're like, oh, well, I don't have any way to do that. I'm like, I didn't either. I just started I got on the phone, started traveling, started working, almost lost my house, I think 3 times. Like, I got pretty damn close. I got real close one time. It was real bad. And I just kept pushing for it because I was like, I'm going to die or I'm going to do this. There is no way out for me. And I'm finally in a really good spot where it's all super efficient and I'm able to take care of everything. And it's because I stuck it out. But I was in danger a lot. There was times where it was a day before the race. I was negative 14 grand in my bank account. Literally said negative 14 grand in my bank account. And I was sitting beside my phone waiting for my sponsor to call me back. Like a new sponsor, right? I'm like, call me back. And they call me back when I'm getting on my plane on credit card money. And they're like, hey, we're in. We just wired you the money. And I literally almost start crying in the fucking TSA line. That's how close these things got at some points. But a lot of people, and my dad was talking to me about this. My dad's, he's 57, and he called me and he's like, you're so inspiring as a son. He's like, you're the opposite of what I am. He's like, I wanted to do so much with my life, but I was so afraid to fail at it. I was just terrified to fail at everything. And so I never did it. And he's like, and you did. He's like, and it's been so awesome. He's like, I'm vicariously living through you. Now, my dad's not the kind of guy that would ever attack a person for going for it, but he recognizes, like, it is hard. Failure's fucking terrifying. So a lot of people they'll be like, you know what? I'm going to work 9 to 5 and I'm just going to do this and I'm going to do this forever. And that was me at one point. But when my wife left, thank God for that. I was like, I don't care if I die. There was like a point in time I was like, I don't care if I die. I'm going to start YouTube. I don't care if I die. I'm going to start YouTube. I don't care if I lose everything. Just didn't do YouTube. And everything I've done since then, I just put everything I have into it, and it tends to work out. So it gets pretty bad sometimes, but it tends to work out. So, and that's what people don't understand is they're like, oh, you don't deserve to be here. And it's like, well, I put everything on the line and I can tell you how to do it, but will you do it? Probably not. No. I have people in my DMs every day. How do you do YouTube? I want to be a YouTuber. How do you stream? I want to stream on Twitch. I want to stream on YouTube. I want to become successful. And I'm like, well, here's how you do it. Wall of text. And then they stream once and they never stream again because it's way more work than you think. It's not just fucking getting lucky. Although the algorithm does exist and it is luck based for sure. But if you put in enough time, have enough high quality stuff, and you have the personality for it, you will be successful eventually. You just have to push. And I've done it on set. I have several channels that I've just tried this like math on, and it always works because you just have to keep going. And it's way harder than people realize, especially when you have a full-time job on the other fucking end of it, which is where I started. I was working full-time and doing YouTube. And but it's an incredible amount of work. So when people are like, "You're so lucky," I get that a lot. You're so lucky to be in your position. I'm like, you have no idea what this took. You know,
I like to always the words I always say in my head is it took Gary 10 years to get to where he is.
Yeah.
It's not, YouTube's a fucking bitch sometimes, and it's been a bitch to me for quite a few months now. So okay, buckle down, change up your style, try to figure out something new, work on it. And these people are completely incapable of working on themselves and acknowledging their own failures. So instead of acknowledging their failures, they want to always point out your failures. Oh, your video only got 23 views. I don't give a fuck. I'm trying.
Yeah.
You're not doing it.
Yeah, so many people are held back by the opinions of people they don't really care about. I run into grown men all the time who are like, "Oh man, I want to try stand up. I would have been really good at that." And I was like, "Okay, do you want to suck at it for 2 years and be made fun of by, you know, would you want that? That's what it's going to be.
Can you handle bombing on stage?
Yeah, you are going to suck ass in front of people. There are going to be women who look at you and would have had sex with you. They're going to see you do comedy and decide, never mind. That's going to be your life for like 2 or 3 years. Do you want to do that? Is that what you want?
Dude, the first 5-minute set I ever did was literally spur of the moment and the scariest fucking thing I've ever done. And I've done a lot of shit. And I was in Nashville and we had a bunch of guests and I was just there as like a guest. And they're like, "We need an intro act. We don't have an intro act." And I was just back in the green room with everybody. And they're like, "So we gonna do something?" And I was I had a little whiskey in me. And I was like, I'll introduce everybody. And they're like, "Oh, okay." And I walk out there with a mic and I do a 5-minute set. And I'm just like doing what I do on YouTube, like completely off the cuff, crazy shit. And the whole place was like fucking, the roof was exploding off the place. And I couldn't believe it. I was like, "This is the coolest shit I've ever done." And I was like, and I got my one last joke in. Everyone, it killed. And I was like, here's our guest tonight. And I brought him out and I walked off stage and I was like, I literally almost had a heart attack. I was like, that was it. And I killed. And ever since then, I'm way more confident on stage. But you don't always, man. I'm sure, Theo, you've done this. You fucking told a bit that that usually kills, and then everybody just looks at you like, "Oh fuck, I'm fucked." Yeah. So and I had no experience, and I just did it. I was like,
everybody starts with no experience. That's what people don't understand. It's like, everybody has no idea what they're doing. You just figure the shit out, bro. That's it. Like people, I don't know. People get hung up on, I'm too. The other one is like, I'm too old to improve my life. I fucking hate hearing that shit. I fucking hate hearing that shit. It's like, absolutely, you're gonna die someday, bro. At least none of us are gonna make it. At least have a firm answer. The answer could be no, you don't get to live your dreams. But at least you get a firm answer if you actually tried, you know, and you're letting the opinions of people you don't actually respect and don't actually care about, the fucking peanut gallery, you're letting them control your life direction. You know, you're giving, so why don't you care more about your own opinion of yourself than you do about the opinions of random people on the internet? You know?
The only thing that matters is how you think about what you think about yourself is all that matters. It's you should never let the outside opinion, unless it's people very, very close to you that you trust. You don't let anybody else sway. And even those people, you take it with a grain of salt. Like if you have something in your heart you want to do, you fucking do it. And I had a guy, and I didn't mean to cut you off, Jack.
Go ahead. No, it's okay.
I had a guy comment on one of my racing posts like 2 weeks ago. We had a really good race at I think it was Kansas or something, or Texas. We finished 19th. It was fucking awesome. Which is good for NASCAR when you're just starting. And I was like, "Oh, fucking amazing day. I'm above the moon, man. I'm living the dream. I'm so happy. I'm so happy that everybody supports me. This has been awesome." And somebody comments and they're like, "I wish I could do this, but I'm too old to even start. I'm 31." And I'm like, "Dude, my first ever NASCAR race that I participated in, I was 35 years old." And I started the NASCAR's division when I was 33, but my first official like NASCAR race was when I was 35, and it was recent. It was a few months ago at Martinsville. You know, I mean, and I know I'm too old, you know, to get into it. Technically speaking, statistically, I'm a little too old to be jumping into this shit. But if I'm given the opportunity, I'm gonna fucking go for it. I wouldn't care if I was 45. I'd be doing this. You know, if I'm gonna fail at it, I'm gonna try, and I will fail. And if I fail, I'm gonna be ecstatic that I even got the opportunity to go for it, right? And a lot of people, they're just too afraid. They're like, if I'm not winning, I'm not even going to try. If I don't have a $500,000 day one of sponsorship, I'm not even going to shoot for it. And I'm like, dude, I started with no sponsorship. I drank my savings account before I got my first sponsor, right? So, yeah, that's just people don't get it, man. People just don't get it.
There are lots of actors in Hollywood who didn't start until like their mid-40s. You know what I mean? And now they're world renowned, that sort of thing. The thing I was going to say previously, yeah, there's tons of them. I can do some great impressions of some of them. No, but what I was going to say was, I think that stand-up comedy itself is one of the hardest entertainment professions to get into, though. I have no problem getting up on a stage. I've been a singer since the age of 16. I can get up on stage and I can work an audience, right? But I could not for the life of me get up on stage and do a set of comedy. I'm pretty good like bouncing off of other people and being kind of witty, that sort of thing. But to write a set and to get up on stage and to deliver it, I've got no delivery. That's my problem. Like in a written set like that, it comes off as though it's scripted. Whereas I'm more of an off the cuff kind of guy. Do you know what I mean? Like we can talk and I have a witty response, but stand-up comedy, in my opinion, is one of the hardest professions, like entertainment professions to get into. So I don't envy anyone who can get into it, but I admire anyone who's made a success out of it.
Yeah, for sure. It's
One
hard.
person that's considered the greatest stand-up of all time in a lot of people's opinions didn't make it big till his mid-40s, and he had quit for decades to go sell vacuum cleaners and garbage disposals door to door. That's fucking Rodney Dangerfield.
Yep.
Yeah.
I thought
He didn't
we were
star
talking
in a
about
movie
Theo.
until he was close to his 50s.
Yeah, and he's the GOAT.
Yes.
God, dude, I still watch Caddyshack like once every 2 weeks.
Oh yeah.
And I gotta say, it's pretty shocking when the first time I watched it was a few years ago, because everybody's like Caddyshack, and I'm like, nah, I never watched that. I never watched Groundhog Day until a few years ago, and all these classic movies, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna start digging in. Watched that Caddyshack, and it is a little bit of a culture shock when that like 16-year-old girl is like banging all these 40-year-old dudes in the movie, and I'm like,
I've
What's
never
that?
seen it. Oh my god.
why is Chevy Chase banging the 16-year-old girl too? Everybody's banging the 16-year-old girl. I was like, damn, 80s were wild. Or like said, late 70s.
Oh, yeah.
80s. Crazy shit.
That's
man.
right, Cloud. You are never too young or too old to chase your dreams. So go after that Sasquatch.
Yeah, Caleb. Get it.
Yeah.
But that's his
Alright.
name, Caleb.
Cloud.
Cloud.
I thought Ian said his name was Caleb.
No, he said it retardedly. That's how a retard call what a retard calls a cloud. Caleb.
No, I really hate hearing the I'm too old to start trying something new or learn something, and I always get pissed off when people say, "Oh, I would do that, but I can't draw." Have you tried?
Yep.
Yeah.
People see somebody's success now; they don't know what it took to get there. You know, you're not
only see
born with a guitar in your hand or a microphone. You have to go through a whole, like Theo was saying, a whole long period of nothing but humiliating failure and defeat to get to that point.
They only see the end result. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it is. That's how it is with everything. Like you gotta start somewhere, and it's never easy. Nothing's ever easy, man. Ever. And that's literally, there's levels to everything. It does not matter what you go into. Nothing is easy. So
the other thing I was going to say about YouTube content creation, I kind of feel like there's 4 categories, but there are 3 categories, and there's one caveat in that sense. So you're either got loads of charisma, you're a lol cow, or you're mid. And the real charismatic ones tend to get a lot of a lot of success. The lol cows get a lot of success for the wrong reasons, and the mid ones have to really, really fucking work hard to get where they're going. The fourth one is you're a woman.
Oh yeah,
And you'll be successful.
Oh my god, dude! That's so accurate, because the mid is probably the most impressive category to me, because I will see a dude, and there was this one guy I watched all the fucking time back in the day, and all he did was he built PCs. He was like a retro PC guy, and he would build old Windows like 98 PC like builds, and then he would run Doom on them and talk about them in extensive detail, and I mean high quality and he was the most monotone, boring dude, but he has like over 1 million subs because he puts every ounce of everything into the video, right? Whereas I can turn on a video. Man, when I used to do my Tinder stories, holy shit, it's like a gold mine. But I ran out of stories because I ran out of girls I hung out with. But I would literally I would hit record. I would just set up my and I would like write down 3 in Notepad, like a subject matter. Oh, this girl, this girl, this girl. I'd hit record and I would just fucking go for 15 minutes, turn it off, send it to my editor, 200,000 views. And it was just that easy, because I'm really, really good. Like you said, off the cuff. I can just be like, oh shit, bitch, I don't give a fuck. It's just really easy for me.
It's called charisma.
If you have the work ethic plus the charisma, you have like 10 million subs. I ain't got the work ethic, bro. I'm tired. I'm too tired, man.
You're doing great.
I gotta go do shit all day, and I don't have the ability. But in the fourth category, girls, I see girls. I'll see a random girl on Twitter say something, and I'll go to her channel, and she has 1 million subs, and she is monotone. No, she has a camera mic, like it's just the mic on the DSLR, and there's a room noise, and she's like, today I'm trying on this outfit, and it has like 180,000 views like in 1 hour, and I'm like, why can't I be a hot girl? Please, God.
I even thought about getting implants myself.
But
God, could you imagine? God, if I looked like some girls I see online, and I had like my delivery, and God, dude, I don't even. I'd just be president probably. Like it's very. Have you ever found a girl that's just like the most laid back, off the cuff fucking person? I think I've met like 2 in my whole life that were pretty good at it. Like 2 ever.
Yes.
So,
you only get that way if you have to. That's the problem. And a lot of hot girls, unless they were like fat in middle school or something, those are the best girls, honestly. If you went through a fat phase in middle school, that's why I'm like this. I used to be a fat guy. People always tell me, Theo, you have good genes. No, the fuck I don't.
Oh, dude, I drink.
I stretch them all out.
12 Pepsis a day, bro. I drank 12 Pepsis a day, pizza rolls for dinner, mac and cheese for dinner. I boil hot dogs for when I was bored and just freaking eat hot dogs on white bread. I was almost 300 pounds when I was 14. And I was the fattest kid at my school, with the exception for the other guy who was even fatter somehow. And this was like in the 90s and 2000s. So there was like 3 fat people, and I was the one, And I still girls would like want to hang out, not in any capacity other than to vent about their boyfriend issues. But girls would want to hang out with me. And but I was still like a reject, and I got bullied relentlessly. And the only way I survived was by being a dumbass. Like I would literally have like the valedictorian quarterback for our football team be like, Dennison, or he called me Denny. Everybody called me Denny. They'd be like, Denny, do fucking tell that joke. And I'd be like, bah, 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 and everybody's laughing. And I'm like, this is the only thing I got. And then I got out of, when I got out of high school, I started working out and eating right. And I still have the same personality. So now I am not the brother long lost brother. I'm the guy that you want to drop your jaws for. It works out. No shit. I remember there was after I like I got real thin at one point. I was like 140 pounds, real little. And I had girls that from high school freaking messaging me on Facebook. Hey, I haven't talked to you forever. And I was like, God damn, you were mean as hell to me. Why are you messaging me, girl? What's up? So yeah, it's wild. But you'll notice that those guys that were valedictorian and like football guys, like if you meet them now, if you like run past them in a grocery store or a bar, they are like, hey, oh, how you been? Good. Where you work at? Oh, factory down nowhere. Like, you all right, dude? It's like, no, that's just their personality. They didn't have any strife. They didn't need to do anything. They didn't have to develop. They were already banging girls when they were freaking in high school and had no issue with anything, right? And now they live beside the high school and they work as the assistant football coach. Right? Rest in
Wow.
peace, boys.
I actually feel a lot of pity for the guys that peaked in high school because you see that outcome more often than not.
You can still find them. They're at the Walmart parking lot every single night around 8 p.m. drinking.
Bro,
wearing their high school football ring.
Yep.
No, bro.
And
the
their
girl,
coat, their jacket.
The girl I had the biggest crush on in 7th grade liked one of my comedy shorts the other day, and I looked her up, and she's a fat single mom now. I feel so bad. I was like, oh,
usually are.
R.I.P. Pour one out for the homies. That's tough.
Yeah, I had the same story, man. Like I think I said this last time I was on the show. Me and Theo are like the same guy. Same exact story. The most popular girl in school. She actually, okay, here's the shit. We were in 7th grade, I think. She slipped me a note asking me to be her boyfriend. My fat ass. And I was like, holy shit, I won the lottery. And like, then I didn't talk to her obviously I didn't talk to her at all. And 2 days later, we were at like lunch or something. And the whole school goes to lunch, right? It's like freaking, it was like, it's kind of a small school, but it's like 150 people, 180 people. We're all in the freaking cafeteria. And she like stands up in front of everybody and says she has to make an announcement and then breaks up with me in front of everybody and everybody laughs. And I was like, and I just got it right then that it was a joke. And I was very resilient when I just was like, okay. And then I just went back to doing what I was doing. Imagine if I was like emotional and it actually affected me. It didn't really. I didn't
imagine if you were a woman.
I'd have died. I'd have been dead. They'd have killed me. I'd have dead. But yeah, she messaged me when I was like 21. And she was like, hey, how you been? Blah, 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 blah. And same exact thing. Single mom. Big old girl.
It's tough. I got to tell you, man, I have such a similar story to that. This same girl that's like in my shorts now. It was everybody's on the bus. Popular kids are in the back playing truth or dare. And they were daring each other to do things they were disgusting. And so to dare her to do the most disgusting thing they could think of, it was to ask me to be her boyfriend.
Yep.
That was the most, and it's just in front of Jesus and everybody. And I looked at her and she was like, she gave me this look like, I don't want to do this, but I have to because of peer pressure, because this is middle school. And I was like, go ahead, girl, you got to do what you got to do. And I just took that on the chin like a soldier, and then, but yeah, these are, life altering experience. That's part of my village and origin story. That's why I was such a man whore later in life, was because of shit like that.
Got to get back. Yeah. They're like, why won't you commit? I'm like, because I'm broken, baby. I'm sorry, girl.
Yeah,
I'm broken. I don't have any capacity for that anymore. I know how you are deep down. I know what you've done.
Why is it that women that usually are the ones that break men?
That's because we
don't go to war anymore.
Yeah, and we're naive too. Like when we're early on, if you're 16, 17, hot girl comes up to you, hey, I like you. We're like, holy shit, everything just changed. And then she takes straws off one night, and you're like, I will die for this person. I mean, I don't care what happens. I'll die. I'll get hit by a train if she says so. That's how we are when we're young, because we are blinded by like
big boobies
affirmation, especially from like a very attractive woman. But then you get married in that first couple the first couple girls you hang out with, you marry one of them, and then they leave for no reason, and you're like, holy shit. And everything was a lie, and then you just start hanging out with girls, and you're like, oh wow, all these girls are the same. Like 95% of girls have the exact same personality. They drink wine and watch Netflix, all of them. And I was like, damn, none of these. So, but then you might, through all the strife, you'll meet one that is like really cool and unique, and you're like, holy shit, I like this one, right? But then you're too broken, Theo, to actually commit to them, and then you lose them again. That's how it works. It's like a never-ending spiral.
It's terrible. It's terrible. I've had so many women come over to my house to get their back blown out and then bitch about their husband. And that's really, bro, it is so hard to believe in marriage when you've had that happen a few times.
Dude,
like, it's hard, man. Like,
bro,
damn.
it was. And I know I've said this before, but like when I was on Tinder, probably 70% of the girls that I hung out with were married or in a relationship. Every time.
Messed up.
It was always, and it was never a surprise. They would be like, yeah, blah, 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 blah. And I even had a couple of them that would tell me up front, like they come over to my house for some reason. They're coming over to my house, man, alone, which is really weird. I don't know why girls did that. I'm like, what if I was a bad person? Anyways, but they come over to my house at 9 o'clock. I don't keep my lights on because I don't venture into any other room in my house because I'm a single dude living alone. And so I have my movie room is the only light in the entire house. So it's very spooky. And they show up and I open my door and it's just like me in a silhouette. And they're like, hey. And then they just walk in. They're like, whatever, I guess I'm going to die tonight. And
No survival instincts. None.
yeah.
Right.
And they will tell me, like, we'll sit down on the couch, and I'm like, I got some tequila. This is a long time ago, by the way. I don't do any of this anymore. I'm way too busy to ever do this. But like, we drink tequila, and they'd be like, hey, just letting you know, like, I'm engaged, so like, it's never gonna go anywhere. We're just hanging out. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine. And guess what happens 10 minutes later when I'm just taking a shot and watching Interstellar? Suddenly they're what? And I'm like, what? Fuck? You told me. And they're like, yeah. Yeah, and then of course, then we hook up like 10 times, and then their husband always finds out. So
Yeah,
and they're always really pathetic about it. This sounds really mean, but I'm just being transparent. Like, you know how many times a husband or a boyfriend would message me on Facebook and be like, hey, I appreciate you being there for her, but I'd really like it if you like didn't hang out with her anymore. And I'm like, why are you not angry at me? Man,
why aren't you beating down his door with a shotgun?
Yeah, you'd expect a baseball bat, not casual knocking, knock, knock, knock.
I was not a good man. I was not a good person.
The word is cuck.
No, I thought for the longest time when a woman would tell me, hey, I got to tell you I'm married, I thought that was like, oh, she just wants to be friends.
Yep.
Stupid.
They mean the
Stupid.
opposite. They mean the opposite is what they mean. They mean, hey, I just let you know I'm married, so nothing can happen. Wink. That's what they mean.
Yeah. Bro, and so many of these chicks, it starts off like, hey, I'm married. My husband travels a lot, so I'm just going to be coming over for fun. And then pretty soon it's like, I want to be the woman that consumes all of your desires. I could be that for you. I could da-da-da-da-da. And it's like, Jesus Christ, what is wrong? Get help.
So Theo, this is a serious question. Is that what the hooker told you in Vegas?
That is not okay. That's you're leaving out a lot of important context for that. She was a wrestler. She was a wrestler. The hooking was clearly a side job. I like people with dreams. Okay, that's a woman with a dream, and I wanted to support it.
Which one?
Also, she looked like she could toss me around, and I was gonna let her.
I love that shit, bro.
Thank you.
God, when they got like chest separation, they got a little bit of tone, like a big old ass, got a little bit of abs. I'm like, you can punch me and I'm like,
squat me, mommy. Let's do this.
You can slap me once and I would have to wait 30 minutes before we do anything. Because it'll be
if she can rear naked choke me with her thighs, then
oh yeah,
that's what I'm after.
Emphasis on the naked. Ayo.
Yeah, but I gotta put this out there. Disclaimer, I think that was pretty. It's a little fucked up. And it's why I don't do it anymore. At the time when I was hanging out with like married girls and stuff, and they were on Tinder, by the way. But I was really jaded, and I was totally okay with it. I was like, I'm fine with that. I was basically punishing the guy because I was punishing myself because I had been left, and I was like, I have to destroy all this. I have to burn all this down for everybody, and I don't do that anymore. And now if I hang out with a girl, it's a girl I connect with, really cool girl, and that's kind of how I move now in life. But yeah, back then, dude, fuck. So like, I was just like, I was not. I say this a lot, but I wasn't a good person back then when it came to that kind of thing. So, but hey, man, it's all subjective. Like somebody said in the chat, being a good person is really subjective. The girl is there, but whatever. But that being said, my stream starts in 3 minutes. So I'm gonna go there and release some juicy info. So make sure you guys take a gander at it after you guys finish this show. Oh, there's Diana. What's up, baby? Oh my god. Oh. So, anyways, I've missed her for so long. But all right. But yeah, I'll see you guys. Make sure you reach out to me. Reach out to me, Selena, if you want me to come on again. I always love coming on here. So, but I've been on 4 shows.
Welcome back anytime.
This is my 4th show today. So I got to do mine, and then I'm gonna take the day off tomorrow and freaking drink some burr. So
nice. Thank you so much for coming by. It was a pleasure.
Appreciate
Great
you
to
guys.
meet you, Cody.
Have a good one,
Thank you, Jack, Selena, Dermy
Keep
Wermy.
fighting the good fight, man.
Hell yeah,
Yeah.
Oxide. Appreciate you, and Theo, as always, keep being fucking beautiful. So.
I like it.
Yeah, that's what we do here. We make connections. That's great.
Yeah. Go check out Camelot's stream starting here in 3 minutes. I'm putting all the links in the chat.
Yeah, we're actually going to wrap it up here. This was again a test for the new show format, so I hope everybody enjoyed it. We're not set on a date. It may be Wednesdays weekly. We may change the date around. We're going to be looking into some pretty big changes for it. It's work in progress. So Glad for everybody showing up. Hell yeah, Camelot, go check out his channel. We're going to wrap it up here, so we'll just start doing outros. Start with Dermy. Where can people find you? What you got going on next, man?
You can check me out at Dermy Wermy. It's Dermy Wermy. Come on. I have a couple videos. I have changed. Yeah, you know who I am. I've drastically changed up my entire video format. So it's usually one video a day, if that. They are a whole lot more well developed, well put, thought out, and better than they were. So please give me your thoughts and opinions on the new style, the new format, what you think, and all that. Greatly appreciate it. So, and then also tomorrow we have Anime Odyssey where we're talking Gundam, and then Ballbusters Friday, which I have no guest. So, Ballbusters.
When Friday?
9 p.m. Central Standard Time now.
Oh, hang on. No, this Friday you've got no guest.
Yeah.
Unlucky. I've got to be up too early in the morning.
I'll come. I'll do a makeup show, buddy. I mean, you don't have to reject me in front of Jesus and everybody, but I'll do it. I owe you one.
Well, maybe I'll reach out to somebody else. I don't know. That's right. I do have a thumbnail. I'll just tell Devil to change the number.
Thank you, Whiskey Capitalist, for rating the stream on Rumble.
Hey,
Thank you
Ian.
so
Thank
much.
you.
We are wrapping up here, unfortunately. We
Thanks for the raid. We're fucking off.
We will raid somebody else. If I can remember how to
Raid Camelot.
Should be you can raid Camelot.
There you go. There you go.
You go into your settings. You have to do it while the stream's running.
Okay.
Yeah, so you have to go into the settings for the stream, customization, then there's a redirect area. So you could raid Camelot. You might have to type in Camelot,
True.
but you'll find it there.
Now, is that
That's
through
true.
StreamYard, or do I do that
No.
through
Through the
YouTube?
YouTube backend.
Okay, let me go to my YouTube backend. All right, while I'm doing that,
Backend.
JackTarLad, what do you got going on, man?
Hello, everyone. I am JackTarLad. You can catch me on all of my socials at JackTarLad. I also have a separate Rumble channel. I have a JackTarLad Rumble channel, but I also have a separate Rumble channel for shows that I do on YouTube on a Thursday called Read and Roll. It's a show where we bring on a guest to play through a Choose Your Own Adventure game book. I've got a whole range of new content coming out because I'm trying to get into the Rumble Creator Program. So I'm trying to stream pretty much every night to build up my stream hours and my watch hours. Mondays, it's gameplay. Tuesdays, it's gameplay. Wednesday, after Tom B's Hump Day Chinwag, like tonight, we did a show called Something or Nothing. And it's an eclectic mix of all sorts of different subjects. Tonight, it was about planetary conjunctions. So please go and check that out. Fuck knows what I'm going to do next week. Tomorrow night is Read and Roll on YouTube. And we've got the Eclectic Goat joining us to play a book. I don't know which one she's going to choose yet, but tomorrow. The weekend, don't know yet, to be decided. So just keep an eye out. Stay notified. Come and follow me. Subscribe on all the channels, and that's that. Thanks.
Hell yeah, Jack. It was great having you on. It's been good streaming with you again, man. It's been too long. So
It has been too long.
And Theo Snodgrass,
Let's
what you
fuck
got going on,
later.
man? Okay.
What's up, everybody? My name is Theo Snodgrass. I'm a stand-up comedian out here in the city of Las Vegas, Nevada. I host a little show called Touch Grass with Theo Snodgrass. That's every Saturday, 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. We talk about all sorts of cultural issues on there. It's a great time. Iron Oxide's going to be there. All your favorite people are going to be there. Selena's going to be there. It's going to be a great time. Also, if you want to see me do some live comedy, this Saturday, I'm going to be at Wise Guys Comedy Club doing the Comedy Rumble. A lot of funny people on that show. You don't want to miss that. Please buy tickets. That's how I get paid. Also, June 10th, I am going to be over at the Cornish Pasty doing some comedy. That's a weeknight show. It's going to be a lot of fun. You're not going to want to miss that. I got a bunch of other dates coming up, but they're far out yet. So we'll just announce them as they come. It's going to be a lot of fun. Really look forward to it. I'm also a regular mainstay over here on Iron's channel on the Rogues Gallery, and I'm going to be on Ironcast going forward. So if you like me, you're going to want to keep tuning into that. I'm also single, so DM me.
Stay away. He
Okay,
has
I
crabs.
will.
Follow me on all my social media and stay in my inbox. I keep checking it.
Careful.
And a little desperate now, but it's okay.
I just need to let you know, though.
Just a little.
I just need to let you know, though, Theo, I'm married.
Dang it. I've still got a
Coded
shot with
language
Dermy.
accepted.
Hey guys, real quick, don't forget to check out Camelot's store. He's trying to sell the merch that he was unable to sell at the con, and trying to get his reimbursement done. And so please check out the link. He's got some really cool stuff in the chat. Yeah, there's a sweater and a cute shirt. I want that actually. But yeah,
we'll
just check it out. And oh yay. But yeah,
I want that
follow
for you
the links.
also, Selena.
I know.
Yeah, if only someone would buy that for her.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that he has this really badass design, and it would have been an exclusive to a convention, but fuckery happened. So
Right.
all right, link is in there. I don't think I set up the raid right, so the raid correctly. So just go check out Camelot's show. It's going to be really cool. After that, we'll be back Friday for the weekly Rogues Gallery. We got more announcements coming up for Ironcast, and as always, I want to thank the chat and definitely the panelists. Couldn't do it without you guys, and we'll see everybody again Friday. Bye for now.
Bye.